Hi everyone, thank you for signing in to watch this video on how to find food sensitivities in your life. And it's a very easy process I'm going to show you, one I've used for years for myself. There are people that you can go and get testing done for sure. There's naturopaths in your neighborhood that will do food testing as well. There are some places that will do a blood analysis, but this is for the people that are kind of your do-it-yourselfers, want to get some quick answers about things they might be putting into their bodies and just some feedback. So I'm going to teach you that technique in just a few moments. What I wanted to share with you also is a little bit about my book. It's called The Eighth Wisdom Keeper, Chronicles of Creation. You can order this book off of my website called the8thwisdomkeeper.com if you're interested. And there is also a free downloadable MP3 file on there where you can take a mini course on how to develop your own shamanic journeying skills to find answers from your guides. The reason I share these items with you is because I'm all about having people find their own healing, do their own healing, empowering you to take care of yourself. I do healing work for many people, and my goal is always to coach them, mentor them to the point that they can carry on and do their own spiritual development work, that they can do their own healing work. Sometimes you do need a guidance person in your life to help you with that, and if you're interested in seeing me as a shaman or as a spiritual mentor, again, you can find my information on the8thwisdomkeeper.com under my contact page and pop me an email. And I do work from a distance and I do work in person around the Calgary area. So that's a little bit about me. Okay, many of you have probably tuned in today because perhaps you're having a health situation, something that's gone wrong in the body. Maybe you're gaining weight and you don't understand why. Maybe you've got bloating. These are some, the reason I read these ones is because these are things I myself have gone through. In my 40s, I went through a health crisis because I was allergic to some titanium clips that they put in my body when I had a tubal ligation done. And nobody could figure out what was wrong with me, and it was actually through this process and some of my own meditation work that I found the answers to what was going on. And I was actually able to give my doctors direction, although it took me 4 doctors to go through to finally get me what I needed here in Canada to solve the problem. But it was through this methodology, this technique, that I found my answers. So I'm excited to share this with you. Some of you may be surprised about just how simple this is. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is get some little pieces of paper or some big pieces of paper, whatever you want. I suggest little so it's less footprint on our environment, but you can do whatever you want. Then I'm just going to kind of show you this as I go along. I want you to take that piece of paper and write a food on it that you believe you may be having sensitivities to. And what I would suggest, because some of you are going to be non-believers of this, you're going to be questioning this and wondering about it, is I would suggest you write some of these pieces of papers in the beginning of ones you know that you have sensitivities to, and some you question, and some foods you absolutely cannot eat, because then you will see that this actually works. And the reason, I just want to talk a little bit about this piece of paper. So words and letters carry energy. So although you do not actually have this food in front of you, although you can test it with the actual food or supplement or a medication that you might be taking, but for the purpose of this exercise, I'm not going to haul my whole fridge contents in here to make a video. So I'm suggesting you write all your foods on little pieces of paper, because even though it's not the actual food, the combination of these words in our language that feeds through your knowing, your inner body, will vibrate a frequency. And the technique that we're going to use will read that frequency of that word, correlate it to the item, and give you an answer. There's a little bit of science in there, and I'm sure if I had all the scientific instruments to prove such a theory, I would. But I don't, so I'm only showing you that technique. And the only other reason I tell you to write it on a piece of paper, oh, and what I'm doing, I don't know, I'm sure you guys are all watching, is I'm folding it up so I don't see it. The reason why I don't want to see it is because the technique I'm going to show you can be influenced by our own belief systems. So if we don't know what this food is, and we have no consciousness of it, then our testing will be much more accurate and much more aligned to the truth of the food. Okay, so step one. And honestly, if you have a friend or somebody to work with doing this exercise, it's another great way because it takes your consciousness out of the exercise. Then you can just write a list of the foods and they can look at the word and then just test that on your body for you without you having to do this. But this is a DIY video. So this is a do-it-yourselfer, no friend, just you. So we're going to do little pieces of paper. Step one, write all the foods that you want to test on a piece of paper, medicine, supplements, vitamins, etc. Then we're going to pick up our magical tool, and this is called a pendulum. So I'm going to show you a couple of the pendulums I have. Okay, so I have one that's made out of metal and one that's made out of stone. And I'm going to hold them both up and show you, because then I'll show you that I cannot move both of them at the same time the same way. I don't have the coordination to do that. So what you're going to do is pick up your pendulum tool. Now let's say you don't have a pendulum. Not everybody, I guess, has one of these sitting on their office desk like I do. You can make one. Take a string, put a bead, see how there's a little bead at the end? That's so that you can hold it and in your fingers without impacting the movement of the chain. So you're holding it. So you could tie a bead onto a chain, use an old necklace maybe, or a string would work, but they're not really that heavy, so they're kind of hard to move. And then you just got to put a weight onto the end. So I have some with stones because these are actually purchased pendulums, and sometimes I make my own. I buy the stone beads. I've actually got a piece of amethyst. I'm going to make one later. But anyhow, this is what we do. So you might want to stick maybe a pendant from one of your necklaces, like, you know, something not too big because it is moving to an energy force, or a wedding ring. Sometimes people put a big ring on it. It doesn't have to be wedding rings, but a ring or a weight. Okay, so that's kind of a quick, how to make a quick pendulum in a pinch sort of opportunity. And I dropped my other one, so I'm just going to reach down and grab it. Okay, so here we go. You get your little pendulum. You're going to hold it up. I'm holding mine up in front of me. If I was doing this for real, I would probably be holding it down. My arms wouldn't be up like this, it'd be down. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to hold them up and then show you. Okay, so you would be doing this on a tabletop. Try to make sure that wherever you're running your pendulum, there's nothing underneath it with writing or words on it. So have a nice clear table space, have a nice clear desk space, you know, sit on the floor, on your carpet, on your floor, whatever works for you. So you see these two pendulums, and then you're going to talk to them. You're going to say, okay, pendulums, show me a yes. And inside your mind, you're going to think yes. You're just going to think the word yes, and you're going to let your pendulum move naturally. So as you can see, both of my pendulums, in their own little ways, are both turning in a circle to show me a yes. This pendulum I put over top of my book, as I told you not to do, I just did, and you can see how it doesn't move as freely. Okay, so now I'm going to say to my pendulums, show me a no. And as you see, both pendulums for me are moving back and forth. Okay, they're not quite in sync. And of course, I'm only doing this to show you an example. of how the pendulums move. So when you go, if you don't know how to have a pendulum and you're going to buy one, go to the store and try them out before you buy them, because different stones resonate with different people. And I've really been feeling the need to align with amethyst this year. It's just been a stone of choice for me and my spirit. So I am going to make an amethyst pendulum myself out of some stones I bought. So anyhow, so as you can see, it's going. All right. So now you've established a dialogue with your pendulum. I'm going to use this one since it seems to have more movement today. And what you want to do next then is set an intention. So why are you reading these foods today? Is it for your health? Is it for general health? Is it to see if it's going to help you lose weight? Do you want to find out which foods are working against you for anxiety? Maybe you've got some anxiety foods. So you figure out kind of where is my questioning going to be about these foods and how am I going to ask that? Then you would take your piece of paper. Now I'm just going to use my hand for the purpose of being able to see this for everybody. This would be sitting on your tabletop. You would hold your pendulum over top of it and you would say, is this food good for my body to lose weight? Should I eat this food to lose weight? So my pendulum is saying, no, I should not eat this food to gain weight, or to lose weight, sorry. Does this food cause inflammation in my body? So see how I changed my questioning, my yes or no questioning. And so it's this food, whatever it is obviously not one I should be consuming if I wish to lose weight. And then I put it in my no pile. And I take my next piece of paper and I say the same thing. You know, do I want to eat this food, or should I eat this food to lose weight? And my pendulum is saying yes this time. Does this food cause inflammation in my body? Now I always ask that because I'm very sensitive to inflammation in my body because of this titanium allergy that I had with the clips. So it is saying yes, good, this would be a good choice. I put it in my yes pile. And I'm going to continue repeating this until I've gone through all my slips of paper. Then comes the homework. I'm going to write all my no foods down, all my yes foods down. And then I'm going to look for a food plan that is something I can live with every day of my life. And I'm going to incorporate the foods that I have my yeses on and my nos on, and I'm going to write a balanced food plan that would give me nutrition, but also give me the results of what I want. And I'm going to go along. So, you know, you can use this technique for lots of things. You can use it if you're indecisive on something, if you want some internal guidance. A lot of people have trouble hearing their guidance, you know, through their internal ears, or hearing, like, I always have trouble understanding that. That's why I'm stuttering, because for me it's, I do hear it through my senses and I interpret it all the time. So, but I know through some of the courses I've taught, some of the people that I've met have said, well, you're so lucky you can do that, I can't do that myself. So I'm hoping that by teaching this technique, it's a way for you to tap into your inner knowing, your inner shaman, your inner guidance system, and get some answers about what's going on with your health and in your life. If you want to find out more information about these type of techniques, like I said, I wrote a book. It's like a little mini encyclopedia. I know it looks pretty and it's got a punky storyline, but there is so much information in this book about our universe and how we are all united and how we can access that information for our own interest and well-being. Anyhow, thank you for joining me on this mini video series, and I hope to post some more about how to find answers in your own life and how you can do it itself at your home.